Okay, go ahead and get your fresh piece of paper ready in your science notebook and head it plant structures. Head it plant structures. And then write down the essential question, and we'll stop the video to give you time to do that. Oh, no, after you copy down the essential question, go ahead and do the drawing that you see of the plant with the flower with the colorful petals. You can go back in and color it later if you have colored pencils or crayons, but for right now, we're just going to draw it and get ready to label it. So copy what you see on the screen, and then we'll start the video again. All right, ready to continue? The first thing that we're going to label, of course, will be petals. And we have the definition for petals. Okay, those are those modified leaves, and they're colorful because they attract pollinators, bees and other, hummingbirds, things like that will provide pollen to help the plants reproduce. The next thing will be the stem. That's that route that connects the roots to the leaves. And we're going to do an experiment with a piece of celery that'll help you understand how the stem of a plant works. And then, of course, the leaves, which are the main organs of a plant. Main organs of a plant would be the leaves. That's where the photosynthesis takes place. Sunlight helps provide the plant with food and energy through the leaves. And then, of course, the roots. The roots take in all those nutrients, the water and food from the soil. So make sure you label your drawing correctly, and then we'll move on. All right, these videos are really short, but they're from STEMscopes, and I had to record them from my smartboard. So they're going to sound like they're in a tunnel, but if you need to turn the sound up, you may do so. Here's the link if you need to go to it later, but you have to log into STEMscopes in order to do that. But if you listen carefully, the video should be fine.
Plants are very special because they have the almost unique ability to make their own food. Plants start life as a seed that develops roots. The roots grow hairs that absorb nutrients and water from the soil. Roots also anchor the plant to the ground and keep it securely in place. Shoots grow upwards from the seed and immediately head in search of light. They grow into strong stems, which support the plant and hold it upright. Stems need to be strong, as they have to bear the weight of the leaves, the flowers, and the fruit. Stems also transport water and nutrients up and down the plant. Leaves make food for the plant through a process called photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, leaves absorb sunlight and use its energy to help make carbohydrates. Which give the plant energy to grow. Flowers are needed for reproduction, to make new plants. They contain both the male and female parts of the plants that reproduce to make seeds. The seeds fall into the soil ready to grow into new plants. Green plants use the chlorophyll in their leaves to make food during photosynthesis. Did you know that not all plants make their own food? This dodder plant has no leaves and cannot photosynthesize. Instead, it must wrap its stems around other plants to steal their food and water. The dodder plant is known as a parasite.
Okay, so to take away from the two videos we just watched, most plants do make their own food through photosynthesis, but not all of them do. Those are called parasites, little vines and shoots that come up out of the ground that live off of other plants. Those are called parasites, but for the most part, most all plants make their own food. That's what makes them unique, and they do so through photosynthesis. And now there's one more little plant characteristic video, and we'll watch that.
Would you believe me if I said humans are very like plants? We both need water, air, light to grow, and we can both adapt to our environment. Where it's hot, we stay cool by wearing shorts. And in cold environments, we wear thick coats. Of course, plants don't have clothes, but they can still adapt to their environment. Plant adaptations. Cacti live in hot, dry deserts. On the few occasions it does rain, their incredibly long roots help them take in a huge amount of water in a short time, which they store inside thick, spongy stems. Snowdrops can survive under the snow. The stems are covered by hardened protective leaves, so when they grow, the snowdrop flowers can force their way up through the snow. As the snow melts in spring, they burst into life. Water lilies grow in lakes and ponds. They're rooted to the soil underwater, but the flowers and large leaves, called lily pads, have adapted to float on top. Mosses have adapted to a soil-free environment and live directly on tree bark or on top of rocks. There's plenty of soil, but not much light in a forest, so the trees have very long trunks, enabling the leaves to reach the sunlight. Traveling around the world, you will always find plants, because plants have adapted to survive in different environments, just like us.
Okay, the important thing we need to know about that video is that plants and humans share something. They have something in common, and that is that plants and human beings are able to adapt to different environments. If we're hot, we can change our clothes to something cooler. If we're cold, we can put on a coat or jacket, and plants can do the same thing. They can have protective coatings until after a snow melts, and then they can come forth through the ground and flower. So plants and humans are alike in that they can adapt to different environments, and that will be a test question. You will see that. So if there's time in this lesson, we can go to the two brain pop videos on photosynthesis and pollination. If not, we'll need to stop here and continue on tomorrow. We will have an activity where we see how a plant gets its nutrients through water.